going to do a March garden review just so I can look at progress through the months. I'm going to start here in this corner where my husband has his grill. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this corner right here. I think I'm going to mulch it for now with rock, but I do want to get maybe a banana tree. I want one that's called banana ice cream. Isn't that cute? This is my PG pink hydrangea. Also right behind it is trumpet vine. Both bought bare root. I see a little bit of green coming in on both, so that's very exciting. I have a lot of these water bottle containers cut in half. I tried winter sowing and really successful. I have here hollyhock and sweet alyssum. For the most part, I really love the winter sowing much better than grow lights, so we're going to do that for next season. Here I have some rose clippings, trying to see if I can propagate my white roses. I see some growth on some of them. Have to try to figure this out a little bit better, but I really do want to start propagating some of my plants because I'm trying to stay within budget and not buy new plants all the time. So this is my Japanese snowball viburnum. Also bought bare root. Most of everything in my garden is going to be bare root or grown from seed. It's just a good way for me to learn and figure out what works for my zone and for my backyard. So this has, all the green you see is brand new. I bought it completely bare root. So over here I have some leveled planters. I mainly wanted to use these for my herbs and strawberries. I know some of the herbs don't do well in full sun, and out here in Sacramento it gets really, really hot, like 100 degrees over the summer. So I wanted to put it on these planters so I can roll it into the shade. Up here I have strawberries, and out of the 10 bare roots that I bought, it all came in a pack of 10. So only like 3 are growing, and I'm kind of worried about the others. I'm not seeing any growth so far. I put the strawberry roots in several places just so I could see if it does better in one space or versus the other. And so far, just 3 of the 10 roots have growth. Over here we have my star jasmine. For a very, very long time, like months and months and months, she had 0 growth, and I thought there was something wrong with her. However, now we've hit spring and she is thriving. All of these new leaves, the light green leaves are brand new. The dark green are mature. So for a long time, she did not grow, and I'm thinking in the first year, these just concentrate on rooting before they grow vertically or bloom. This is my Bobo Panicle hydrangea. Initially bought bare root, and it's just now growing some greenery. I don't know if you could see that. For a long time, it did not do anything. I didn't think it was going to survive. However, here we are in the spring with some new growth. Very exciting. I'm also trying to propagate these, so I have some growing, and I think they're going to be pretty successful. I see some green on this cutting right here, so very exciting. These are gladioli, plural. I bought these as a 50 pack at Costco. Of course, true to Costco form, they don't let you buy less than 50 bulbs. So I have these bulbs growing everywhere, trying to plant all of them in succession so that I have blooms throughout the summer, hopefully. These were very easy, just plop them in the dirt, and within days, you will see something sprouting. So for that reason, I will buy these bulbs every single year. Here's a wider view of the garden. I put in this arch a few months ago, and then I bought these iceberg white roses. They're climbing roses, so I'm going to try to train the canes to go up this arch. And hopefully we'll have a little bit of a Bridgerton garden here. In the middle of the garden, we have this white rose tree. They're iceberg roses. Once again, they're white. I love white flowers, so elegant, so pretty. So you'll see that a lot in my garden. I bought all of my roses bare root, including this one, just more budget friendly that way. Over here we have another PG pink hydrangea, also bought bare root. Lots of new growth on this one. On the sides there I have hollyhock and sweet alyssum growing. More winter sowing containers. Some of these I didn't even winter sow. It was just some space that I needed in case the others in the garden bed didn't grow. So that's lettuce. These are zinnias, and the one next to it is basil. This is my lemon tree. These are one of the first things I bought for the garden, and this was bought way back in September, maybe August, and it did not grow. It did not flower. It didn't bloom, and so I think for that first few months, it was just concentrating on rooting. But now, as you can see, there are tons of flowers. I'm not sure if I'm gonna let this continue to root, concentrate on rooting, but happy with it so far. I'm kind of concerned of the color of the leaves. They look a little too yellow for me, so I have to figure out what fertilizer I can do to help this. So this one, I have another citrus tree. It's a Caracara orange. I just bought this a couple weeks ago, and already there's some new shiny green leaves, new growth. And you see how on the orange tree, the leaves are a little darker compared to this yellow-green lemon tree. I want it to be dark green like that. So eventually I'm going to move these citrus trees into big pots and maybe put them over there by the fence, and have a little citrus row, citrus avenue. I don't want to put them in the ground just yet, or if ever. I'm still learning this backyard and how the shade patterns are, so before I commit to anything permanent, I prefer keeping the citrus trees in containers. Here's a third citrus tree. This one's a lime tree. I eventually want to get a calamansi tree also, but I'm finding it's not very easy to find at any of the nursery gardens that I visit. So the dirt out here in my backyard is clay, rocky dirt, very difficult to penetrate and to grow anything. So I went with raised metal garden beds. This first garden bed, I have corn in the back row there, and then some strawberries. And then I planted bok choy, pechay, and then also some lettuce. Also some purple cauliflower and broccoli. Not sure how those are going to do. I'm now learning that it might be better for me to replant these in the fall when it doesn't get so warm. So for this second garden bed, it's all flowers. More gladioli. Those right there are peonies. I got those, I believe, at Costco. They came as 2 bare root, and they grew really quickly. Very happy with those. I'll purchase those every year. The 2 rows of tiny seedlings there are Lisianthus. I grew those under grow lights. They've been growing since November, and they're still so tiny. They grow extremely slow. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this again next year. It's just a lot of work babying them. Or maybe I'll just not grow anything under grow lights and either try to winter sow them or just plant starting in February. I have shallots here and then Thai peppers here. This is in the third planter. I also have some broccoli and cauliflower. Might have to start over with those maybe later in the fall, or I don't know if I'll get lucky and maybe it'll germinate a little bit more and grow before it gets really hot in June. Over here we have a fourth planter. I'm still trying to build an arch involving these two planters, so I have to do the math and all of that and on how far apart these have to be in order for the arch to be about 5.5 feet. I'm going to be using a cattle panel for that, so stay tuned. These three dome-shaped plants are showy stonecrop. They're white. When they flower, they're going to be white flowers. I initially had these planted in the dirt in the front, but I think it was just a little bit too hot out front for them, and they burnt down. I thought they died, but I left them be over the winter, and this spring they started to show a little bit of growth. So I moved them into these pots, and they've grown. They definitely like it out here better in these pots. They've grown so well. Can't wait to see them flower. The front of my house faces north, so it gets full sun, and it's a radiant kind of heat. It's super hot. There could be a 15-degree difference from the backyard versus the front yard. So that's why I thought these succulents would do well in the front, but they do like the afternoon shade. This one's my orange hibiscus. I posted a lot about this plant on my other account because it was so beautiful when it bloomed, but then aphids got to it and almost killed it. All of the leaves fell off. It didn't bloom anymore, but I worked really hard to shoot those aphids down with water and then sprayed with neem oil, and it came back to life. In the winter it stopped blooming. It kind of rested a little bit, and then now we have the first spring bloom there. Plus I see a lot of little tiny green shoots coming from the branches and the stems, and I'm hoping she gets all her leaves back. Here we have another iceberg white rose bush. I bought this one back in November, bare root, and she's thriving. I'm a little worried about her because I see some white powdery mildew on some of her leaves, so I'm working on treating that. Here I have some bleeding heart plants. I bought them as bare root. It came in a 6-pack from Costco. I might have left it in the garage in the package a little too long, and now when I planted them they felt a little soft, and so I'm not sure if rot had set in. However, I'm trying and we'll see if they grow. Over here we have Iggy. I named her Iggy. She's over here in the shade because she prefers it that way. This is a white flower azalea, and I bought her maybe 2 months ago, and she had no blooms. And now I see a ton of flower buds, so I'm hoping it's exciting to see all of the buds bloom. Here I have allium in this pot. They came in a 3-pack bare root. Looks like they're growing okay. They haven't died during the transplant or potting, so pretty happy with that. So I have a total of 8 of these planters. I haven't set them all up yet. This is the 5th planter in this one. This one is going to be in mostly shade. So I have some kale in here, 2 different kinds of kale, and I'm putting down seed tape for carrots. It's the first time I'm using seed tape. I like how I don't have to handle the super tiny seeds, so that was a plus. So putting down this seed tape, hopefully we'll get some carrots this season. And that's the March update for the garden. Before I go, I wanted to show you these bougainvillea that I bought to put into these planters. I bought these really small, so they're budget friendly, but also so I can train them to go up this wall planter. Thanks for watching the March garden walkthrough. See you next month.